Welcome back to Channel 127 on Morning Bell. You're with me, Nur Akhtar, and of course with my popular host, Rasha Arya, and our Business Times senior journalist, June Ramli. So we have quite a reliable person with us. Of course, now.
You mean I'm not
besides
reliable?
You, reliable as well.
Just checking.
I can rely on you.
Yes.
Okay, SE wants companies to provide more info to stakeholders. Reuters reported the Securities Commission Malaysia has called on companies to voluntarily widen access to information to stakeholders. Its chairman, Dato' Ranjit Ajit Singh, said on Wednesday this could be done by observing transparent practices and transmitting complete, meaningful and timely discussion. As a regulator, he said, SC would prefer not to introduce more rules or regulations. What I mean by reliable is we can correct a bit, we can dig more
Now
underneath.
I understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So, don't you think that this is good, as companies should be transparent?
Yeah, it should be good. In fact, if anything, it's in the company's own interest to be transparent, as we were talking about the earlier story as well, to be transparent, to disseminate information. Because when you provide the platform for all this information and transparency, investors will obviously like it, and when they like it, they're comfortable with what the company is doing, they will invest, and of course it will be reflected in the confidence in the shares, and obviously the share prices would go up. The concern is when everything's so secretive, you're not sure what's going on, you make one announcement, then you change with another announcement, or announcements are not forthcoming, you're leaving investors in the dark. That's where they are afraid. Because they wouldn't want to be caught holding the bag at the end of the day. So they would rather invest in good companies.
Afraid and maybe lose interest in the end. Don't you think, Ranjun?
Yeah, I would like to say this, I think first and foremost, the Brusa announcements, right? The language that they use, right? The English, it's too technical, I'm like, when the first time I joined Business Times, right, I was supposed to do Brusa briefs, and I'm supposed to, shorten the Brusa statements into briefs so that people can, read it properly. But my God, I was having maybe a learning curve for that, like 6 months. So maybe that's one thing that they need to look at.
Make it more investor friendly.
Yeah, more English. I mean, tone down the English a bit.
Yeah, because investors, they come from all sorts.
Yeah, especially the public investors. We're not talking about institutions here who have all the experts and analysts.
So how did you overcome it?
I had to do it because practice makes perfect. So every day,
lots of studying.
Yeah, every day getting
learning,
books and all that.
Terms,
and
lingo.
Then, editors helping out and all that. But in terms of transparency, this one only applies when the company is in trouble. So the recent story that we got was the Kenmark, the Taiwanese company that was in was actually a few years, I think 1 or 2 years back. My colleague wrote about it, and he was also called up by SC because we wrote some stuff like that. You see, when they are in, when all is nice and dandy, right? There's no problem.
Yeah.
The problem only arises when there's some kind of now recently it's Silverbird lah, but Silverbird is not that bad lah. Because they do come out with statements on and off, But the Kenmark one was a bit of a challenge, because you see all the journalists that were writing about it, even on press conferences, right? They even got hauled up, So, but this one is basically for the stakeholders, meaning those who actually, who actually invest in the company. But it also goes the same for the media personnel, because we have a duty to write about the company and inform our readers, you see. So, so maybe they should have better guidelines in place when the company is in trouble, And sometimes the directors go MIA, So what next, you see?
Okay.
So if that is, I don't know how
MIA, that is interesting.
The scary thing about, now that she talked about directors, sometimes I wonder what are the directors doing on the board of directors of these companies. I'm sorry to be a bit cynical, but I sometimes think they're just there to collect their director's fee. Yeah. Because when things go really bad, they claim that they don't know what's going on, and the next thing you know, they all resign. And when you ask them, what's the purpose of you resigning? Oh, we decide to pursue other ventures, or we pursue other initiatives. So you as an investor, you all resign. Obviously, you resign, there's a reason behind it, but they're not forthcoming as to why they're resigning.
Yeah.
So as an investor, you're wondering if this is the kind of message you're sending out, can you imagine what's happening behind the scenes?
It's even worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's even worse,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's quite scary. That's why there's a lot that Malaysia needs to do. But I mean, I can appreciate Dato' Ranjit saying that they don't want to impose more rules and regulations. You make it more restrictive, make it more bureaucratic at the end of the
Okay,
day.
so Raj, how would you actually conclude this in the end?
Well,
Based on what Jun has said.
yeah, it's good that SC is encouraging them to take the initiative, the onus on the companies to actually be more forthcoming in terms of providing more information to all the various stakeholders at the end of the day. So in fact, I would actually have to say this, you as a company, public listed company, it is in your best interest to do that because once you have confidence, once the investors have confidence in the companies, you can be rest assured that in the long run, your company will be profitable. Just look at what CIMB and AirAsia are doing as an example.
Yeah, I like to add to that. You see, when you list your company on the board, it's basically you asking for money from strangers to help and pitch in your business to become, to be a profitable business. Basically, listing is about asking people money to actually expand your business. So when you take people's money, you have to have, at least of a bit of responsibility to actually, tell them what's going on and then how they can make money from your business and have everybody happy. But if when trouble strikes, and if you go MIA or if you don't want to really talk or and then you completely how do you say, the Malay word is lepas tangan, what is the
Let go.
Really let go.
Let go of all responsibility.
Lepas tangan because
Wash your hands,
sudah malu.
Yeah. So it's not right lah. But the SE can say, it's only up to the directors to actually do actually. So hopefully, it's taken in account lah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jun, Raj. Moving on. Okay, talking about being transparent, and now Lloyd's plans big investments in Malaysia. Business Times reported Lloyd's register plans to make substantial investments in the next 6 to 12 months to expand its business in Malaysia. Lloyd's is an independent provider of assurance to companies operating high-risk, capital-intensive assets in the energy and transportation sectors. Its president in Asia, John Rowley, said the group would be expanding its delivery center in Malaysia. So don't you think more foreign companies starting to trust Malaysia in terms of investing in this country?
Yeah, it could be
almost
more.
every day we have this such of headlines.
Yeah,
That's good for the country.
Yeah, it's good for the country, but we don't know how much. Hopefully, it's a lot of money.
Okay, do you know? Maybe you can actually brief a bit about Lloyd's reputation.
Lloyd's is a name by itself, so it's a very good. It's good lah that they are investing in Malaysia, especially now. When we are like we're in
a global economic downturn with the Euro crisis, and then the slowdown in China, India, and all that. So FDIs are something we all be very happy to have. And actually, Malaysia is very, very fortunate because of where we are. Oil and gas. I tell you, without this oil and gas, without Petronas contributing 40 over billion ringgit a year in terms of revenue to the government, I don't know where we would be. So
should we rely totally on oil and gas and just diversify any business that can actually come from oil and gas, Jun?
No, I think we should diversify definitely. Any business, food and beverages,
tourism,
halal is nothing. That's
manufacturing,
very good. Manufacturing, sadly to say,
competitiveness has gone down compared to the...
Sorry, I think we only have time for a few last words from both of you.
Oh, okay.
For our audience today.
I hope there will be more companies investing in Malaysia than Singapore.
There we start.
Yes. So hopefully,
That's the keyword for today. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, Malaysia, doing very well. More FDIs, oil and gas. Continue to focus on this growing area, but remember, it's only a finite resource, so we always have to find new ways in terms of, as what Jun said, diversify our economies to be less reliant on just putting all our eggs into one basket.
All right, quite motivating headlines today, and thank you, Jun Ramli, for being with us. 10 years experience, well, we have it in a day. Thank you for watching Morning Bell for 1 hour. We have our repeats as well tonight, 10 to 11 p.m. And of course, tomorrow as well. See you again, 10 a.m. And Raj?
Thank you very much. Have a great day today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have a
Good
nice
to have
day.
you with us. See
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.